So I want to do an exercise.
Okay.
What's going on with your back right now? Still like 3 out of 10?
Yeah, I'd say it's a 3 for sure.
Okay.
Not a 4.
Okay. And what's going on with physical feelings of anxiety? What are you aware of feeling in your
Right
body?
now?
Yeah.
What am I aware of in my body?
Yeah, like-
what else hurts? What else is bothering me?
Like oftentimes anxiety could be like a tightness in the chest or...
Maybe a little bit, but I wouldn't say a lot. My heel pain is dissipated. I came off a ladder
Okay.
in June, but that's healing up. That's good. So I feel that a little.
So there's no tension in your chest that you're aware of?
No, not really. I can definitely feel I'm more energetic now than I was when we started. I've been awake a long time, so
Let's
that's
see
not
if we
it
can
either.
try something.
Okay.
So I want you to just close your eyes
Okay.
and relax, make yourself comfortable. And I want you to see if you can just bring your attention to the physical sensation of your breath coming in and out of your body. So oftentimes when we breathe, we have a tendency to do what's called chest breathing. That's a shallower form of breathing. But when you're really relaxed, when you're really calm, we have a tendency to do what's called belly breathing or yoga breathing. That's where you actually breathe into your stomach. So I want you to see if you can slow your breath down and bring your attention to the physical sensation coming in and out of your stomach right now. As you breathe, really let yourself feel the physical sensation of the breath as it rustles against the inner lining of your stomach. With each in-breath, feel it come in, and with each out-breath, feel the breath leave you. And really see if you can bring your attention to just that physical sensation of the breath as it rustles against the inner lining of your stomach, and just notice what sensations you're aware of, what sensations you're able to feel as you really let yourself focus on that sensation of just this breath now. And what sensations are you aware of as you focus on this physical sensation of the breath coming in and out?
Physically, I feel very tight in here.
Okay, great. So I think what's been going on is there was a feeling of anxiety that you weren't necessarily aware of, because tightness generally is anxiety. So one of the things that we see is when we bring attention to it, all of a sudden we're seeing something we may not have even known was there before. Okay? What are your thoughts about that? Is it difficult for you to focus on it?
Well, I'm trying to relax it through the breath.
Don't.
Okay.
Don't. What I want you to do is just slow your breath down and bring your attention to this physical sensation of tightness and tension in your stomach.
Okay.
We don't want to get rid of it, because remember, when we try to get rid of something, we're just further communicating that that sensation is dangerous. We don't want to communicate that this sensation of tightness that you feel in your stomach is dangerous. We just want to help you attend to it, pay attention to it, notice it. And that's what anxiety regulation is just paying attention to a sensation, familiarizing ourselves with it, and just attending to it without trying to change it, without trying to fix it, without trying to move it in any way. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
Good. So now what we've done is we've actually brought your attention to the physical sensation of anxiety in your body, which
Yes.
was there before. There's no difference between now and 10 minutes ago. Now we're just aware of it. So
Okay.
we're one step further, even though it feels more unpleasant, you know? So what I want you to do is just see if you could breathe into this sensation of tightness and just watch it. It's really important that we're not trying to get rid of it. We just want to make peace with it, attend to it, really learn about it. Our goal is not to get rid of anything. Our goal is not to change anything. We don't want to have any ulterior motive. All we want to do is teach your brain to attend to these different physical sensations mindfully, without fear, without judgment, without ulterior motive. If you've ever been, I don't know, scuba diving or snorkeling, and you see a fish that is really interesting, you know, you're not doing anything to it. You're not chasing after it. You're just watching it. You're just exploring its characteristics. You're just watching its pattern as it swims. That's all you're doing right now. This physical sensation of tension and tightness in your stomach right now is like a really interesting fish. You don't need to get rid of it. You don't need to change it. You don't need to chase after it. All you're doing is you're watching it. You're observing it. And see if you could actually breathe into this sensation and watch it really from a place of like detached curiosity and interest. How interesting it is that your brain is actually causing this physical sensation that you feel in your stomach right now. And let's see if you could actually just learn a little bit about it just by watching it. You're just along for the ride. You're like a passenger in the car. You're just watching this sensation. So as you watch this sensation, let's see if we could be precise about ascribing its characteristics. Is it widespread or is it more localized to one area?
It seems like it's covered up, almost like a membrane, almost very thick mucousy, something kind of a yellowish, creamish.
Awesome.
I would describe it as, I've seen pictures, it's similar to a volcano that's just gurgling, but it's the mud volcano, it's not the lava volcano.
Great. You really are a visual thinker. So right now it's almost kind of like there's this like mud volcano membrane-y type sensation.
Yes.
And is it pleasant? Is it unpleasant? Is it neutral? How would you describe it?
It's neutral.
It's neutral, great.
It's binding up this way though. It's almost got like a finger. It's almost like I'm seeing it through like a mountain's in the way here, and then there's something else that's shadowy that I don't know but here, so it's kind of in the distance, and then right up here at the valley seems sharper. It's sharper.
Got it.
But I can't see that. I just feel that.
Great. So bring your attention to that physical sensation. The physical sensation of this kind of membrane-y, gurgly, kind of widespread type. And how would you describe this sensation? Is it a tightness? Is it a fluttery feeling? Is it a tingling? How would you
This is tight and jabbing coming up
Tight
through
and
the
jabbing.
valley. Now this
Uh-huh.
is just there.
Got it. So part of it is just kind of like a neutral sensation, and then part of it is just kind of like a tight, kind of jabby sensation.
And then above it is almost the underside of a storm cloud, and there's a gap in between, and it's just, the real billowy, puffy but dark bluish gray clouds.
Great.
There's no feeling there, they're just there.
So I want you to see if you could bring your attention to the physical sensation of all of these different things that are going on in your stomach. You have a very, very strong mind-body connection. And this is fantastic. This is actually your brain that's able to generate not only these physical sensations, but these visual images. How amazing is that?
That's neat.
And I want you to see if you could actually just enjoy paying attention to these sensations mindfully. You don't need to get rid of them. You don't need to change them. You're just learning. Maybe for the first time, you're sitting here objectively watching these sensations with a sense of detached interest and curiosity, just kind of noticing what's happening, knowing that as you're paying attention to these physical sensations, you're literally developing the neural pathways to attend to these physical sensations without fear, without judgment, without ulterior motive, without any resistance. You're just watching. You're just learning. And in this objective assessment, you're actually teaching your brain that these physical sensations are safe, regardless of if they're tight, regardless of if they're jabby, regardless of if they're pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. They are safe just by paying attention. So breathe into it, keep breathing. And what I want you to do as you focus on these physical sensations in your body of this kind of like membrane-y, tight, jabby sensation, just see if you can notice what happens. Do the sensations intensify? Do they subside? Do they move around? Do they expand or contract? Do they change in consistency? What do you notice happening as you mindfully pay attention to these physical sensations in your body?
The entire scene is going gray.
Okay.
Almost like a fade out, but more like fog is covering everything up.
And what is the...
This is still sharp here.
Good.
But this is... I'm losing the image.
Okay, good. So I want you to keep focusing and keep watching. Is it okay for you to do this, or is it difficult?
No, it's good.
Good.
I've never thought of seeing myself from the inside out.
There you go. What you're doing is you're attending to your internal state. This is a way of attending to yourself, of literally paying attention to yourself, your physical sensations, in an incredibly healthy and loving way. This is the complete opposite of neglect. What you're doing is you're actually attending to your internal state. So keep watching and keep noticing and pay attention to those physical sensations, that kind of tightness or that jabby sensation that you're noticing. We don't need to get rid of it. We don't need to get rid of the tightness ever. All you're doing is you're watching, you're exploring. You know, it's almost kind of like if you are exploring a cave for the first time, right? And you have one of those helmets with the light on, and you're kind of going at it in this adventurous way. And you look over there, and there's a crevice, and there's a waterfall, and it was dark, and you're shining light on it, and you're this adventuresome, explorer. And that's all we want you to do. We want you to look internally, pay attention to these physical sensations, and really just kind of explore in almost this adventurous, enjoyable way. And what do you notice as you pay attention to these physical sensations in your body? What happens? Do they stay exactly the same?
It's subsiding.
It's subsiding, okay. And that's okay. If they subside, if they intensify, we don't care what happens. The only thing that matters is that you pay attention mindfully and just watch and just enjoy the ride. Whatever the sensation is, if it's unpleasant, if it's pleasant, if it's neutral, if it's widespread, if it's localized, if it's a tight sensation, or if it's a nice, loose, warm sensation. There's no judging. There's no ulterior motive. You're just along for the ride. You're paying attention and you're noticing what happens. And see if you can actually just enjoy the act of looking in and paying attention and watching. And I'm even seeing a smile on your face as you're paying attention, treating yourself in this loving way, communicating to your brain that these sensations are actually safe. And see if you could actually just let this sensation that you feel fill you up. Really let yourself, if you learn, you have such a strong mind-body connection. You're like a Jedi, but you've never really known how strong this mind-body connection is. You've always kind of been a slave to it, but you've never really honed it. And as you pay attention to these sensations in your stomach, in your chest, and the membrane-y feeling, and the tight sensation, and the jabby sensation, knowing that whatever happens is okay, because all you need to do is watch, whether it intensifies, if it subsides, if it moves to a different part of your body, if it expands or contracts, if it changes in consistency. What do you notice?
Again, the scene is fading, and yet there's just this washing, almost like waves coming in every direction of this purplish, and it's just kind of soothing. It's pleasant. It's a pleasant sensation. Still see the scene, but it's just kind of being covered.
Great, and let yourself feel that. Is it a pleasant sensation?
Very much so.
Good. How would you describe the pleasant sensation?
Calm.
Good.
Serene.
Great.
Quiet.
So breathe into that calm, serene, quiet sensation. knowing that we don't even need to hold on to this. Just like we didn't need to get rid of the tightness, we don't need to hold on to the calmness. You're just watching, you're just paying attention, you're just attending mindfully, knowing that if this intensifies or this subsides, that that's okay too. Just familiarize yourself with it, knowing that just by paying attention, you're developing the neural pathways in the moment of attending to these physical sensations and of communicating to your brain that these sensations are safe. Go ahead.
So it just seems kind of like mind acupuncture.
Wow, I love that description. Really let yourself just sink into this sensation and let yourself feel it fully. Remember when you had that tightness and you were trying to get rid of it? You don't need to get rid of it. All you need to do is pay attention to it, communicating to yourself that these sensations are actually okay. All you need to do is watch. Like when you're scuba diving or you're bird watching and you're just taking it in, you're just learning, you're just paying attention, and that's all you need to do. And that's what you're doing with your body right now. And what do you notice in your back right now?
Nothing.
Nothing. What do you think about that?
It's amazing.
Okay, so I want you to take a couple more breaths. Take one more, knowing that this sensation is there for you whenever you want it. And when you're ready, just let your eyes open.